Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. So this is going to be a fun video, guys. I know everybody's seen the news. Some people probably just, ignored it because you never heard of who Pat White is, but the Chargers did hire Pat White in the offensive assistant capacity. Now, for all the people who do not know who Pat White is, I feel sorry for you. Now, if you are not a college football junkie like I am, then you probably won't know who Pat White is. Pat White is one of the greatest college players of all time, in my opinion, and I think many people share this opinion that I have. He's one of the greatest players. He was, to compare him to a current player that everybody knows, he was to college football what Lamar Jackson is to the NFL right now. Just to pretty much put it, plainly and simply like that. That's what he was. He was quarterback of the University of West Virginia Mountaineers, 2006, 2007, I believe. Now, they were a very, 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 very good team. They had a lot of pretty good talent on their team. They had quite a few guys playing in the NFL, including Pat White himself. That team consisted of Steve Slayton, I remember, running back, Noel Devine, running back. Both those guys were like 5-star recruits, I think, coming out of high school. And everybody's familiar with Pat McAfee as well, too. Pat McAfee was on that 2007 West Virginia team with Pat White and all the rest of the guys that I just mentioned. So that team was very, very good. And really that season, they had a fantastic season that year. I remember watching it. And, it's interesting because Pat White does have a connection with somebody on the Chargers, and that's Chase Daniel. When Chase Daniel was in college, Chase Daniel played at Missouri. For all the people who were not familiar with Chase Daniel in college, the Missouri Tigers were a very good team as well, too. And they came down. Both teams were one game away from facing each other in the national championship that year. I believe Missouri lost in their conference championship game, and the West Virginia team, I believe they lost before their conference championship game. If those teams win those games, they face each other. So Pat White and Chase Daniel are facing each other potentially for a national championship in 2007, but it didn't work out that way. LSU ended up winning the national championship that year, but it's very interesting, though. Very, very interesting. There is a little connection there between Pat White and, somebody who is currently on the Chargers now. So I thought that was interesting as well, too. But Pat White is a guy, he has a lot of respect around the college football community. Now, he got drafted, I believe, in the 09 draft. Was it 08 or 09 draft? But he was drafted by the Dolphins, and I think he was drafted in the second round. Now, his NFL career did not pan out the way, he probably thought it would, the way a lot of people thought it would. He was a running quarterback first. Now, as far as running quarterbacks go, especially if you're going back in time, to 2009, you're looking at the best one in the league was Michael Vick, right? And he was pretty much the only one who can do that at that level, run and throw the ball at a proficient level, right, for a NFL team. But obviously the game has changed now, so it would be interesting to see prime Pat White out of West Virginia playing in today's NFL. That would be very interesting to see. I think his career would be, I'm not saying he would be a superstar or anything like that, but I think his career would be a lot more memorable if he played in today's era than that era back then. Because, back then they would try to make the quarterback be what the quarterback needed to be, as opposed to kind of working around him and, bringing his strengths to the forefront, as opposed to, making him fit into a cookie cutter offense, what they used to do back then. So, but yeah, so the Chargers did hire Pat White. He is going to be a offensive assistant, and, it's likely that he works with the quarterbacks. I don't know. I'm not sure what his actual position will be. It's just going to be offensive assistant. At this point right now, he is still new, so I don't expect him to have any major duties as far as coaching goes. He might just be grabbing coffee, for the first couple of years. And, that's the way you have to pay your dues. But I did think that this story was a little interesting. I just wanted to cover it a little bit as well. So Pat White was a part of the Bill Walsh, it's the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship Program. So that is pretty much a program that the NFL instituted to get more diverse as far as the coaches go, right? More, as far as race go, more black coaches, more just minority coaches. I know there are some women coaches that have participated in this program as well too. So it's just a program that the NFL instituted. So a lot of these guys who probably would never get a shot, are now getting a opportunity. They're getting a chance to learn from, some of the best coaches in the league, from some of the best organizations in the league. So I think it's a good program. And I'm happy that Pat White is definitely a coach with the Chargers. He's somebody who, like I said, he was one of the best college football players of all time. And, I know that the game has changed so much, but I think, if you bring a guy in like that, I think, once he's cutting his teeth and all of that stuff, and he's getting his sea legs, so to speak, I think he has something to bring to the Chargers, right? I think if you have a guy like that who has played at a very high level, I think he has something to bring, right? It's a fresh pair of eyes. He was coaching in college football. He was coaching there, so I think if you bring a fresh set of eyes in. You bring a guy in who has played the quarterback position, right? Who has, done some similar things as far as, offensively. This is not the exact same offense he played in, but he has done some of the similar stuff, right? He understands concepts and things like that. So I think he can bring something to the table as far as coaching goes. You definitely want to get guys who love the game, and it doesn't hurt to have a guy who was one of the best when he played in college football. So I think it's going to be a net positive for the Chargers, and we'll see what he brings. We'll see what he brings, and we'll see how good he is and how well he is. Ingratiated with the Chargers and the system and Brandon Staley and all of this stuff. So I'm happy to have him aboard, and I think he'll be a plus for the Chargers. But just a very quick, interesting story I wanted to cover. When I seen his name, like, wow, Pat White. Okay, yeah, he's a Charger coach now. So, but like I said, I'm a college football junkie. So I remember vividly that season. I remember, a lot of his plays. I remember, a lot of the good things that he did on the field. So, but that is me. I am a college football junkie. So, I don't expect everybody else to know. So that's why I kind of wanted to just make this video, kind of give everybody a little introduction if you don't know who Pat White is. And definitely go to YouTube and watch his highlights. If you really are interested in seeing who this guy was on the field, go watch his highlights. You will not be disappointed. And I think you will agree with me that he was probably one of the best one of the best college football players of his time and probably all time. So that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Training camp is now underway for all 32 teams, and we are just about a week out, 7-8 days out from the first preseason game, right, with the Raiders and the Jaguars from Canton, the Hall of Fame game. So things are gonna be moving pretty quickly here, and can't wait. So I'm gonna be covering a lot of stories, and yeah, so just stay tuned for more content. Thank you guys for all the support, all the engagement, all the comments, all the likes. All of it is appreciated. And yeah, can't thank you guys enough. So, but that's all I got for this one. I will be back tomorrow with more content. And until then.